All right, we'll go ahead and start availabilities this morning at Michigan International Speedway. We are now joined by Greg Biffle, driver of the number 16 Ortho Ford for Roush Fenway Racing. And we're also joined by car owner Jack Roush. Jack, we'll start with you. You have a track record here at Michigan with 13 wins. Talk about what this track means to your organization and the history you've had over the past few years.
Well, starting back, a long time ago in 1966, I went to my first IndyCar race here. And first big racetrack I'd ever been to, and amazed with the accommodation, and of course the Irish Hills topography here is wonderful. It's close enough that when I do my proficiency flying for my Warbirds, I fly over the racetrack a couple times a month, and it's a place where with the success that Mark Martin brought, and of course Greg's won two of the most significant races. We won here the 100th anniversary of Ford Motor Company. He won one of the races that year, and of course the 1,000th race for Ford. So we've looked forward to bringing a new setup out here for this new combination of aero and kinematics we've got in the cars, and look forward to see what we can do.
Greg, we'll go to you. You lead all active drivers with 4 wins at Michigan. Talk about the success you've had here and expectations for the weekend.
Yeah, this is a fun racetrack. I love the way it races and drives. I was nervous about when they repaved it years ago whether we would still be as successful, and obviously we've been able to win after the repave as well. So it's a great racetrack for us. It is for our whole company. A lot of us have won here, and like Jack said, it's we don't know what to expect with this little bit different drag package, how our car is going to react to it. So we're hoping to we can't wait to get on the racetrack and see what kind of speed we have this weekend.
All right, we'll go ahead and open it up to questions. Please state your name and affiliation. We'll start up front with Mike Hembry and then go to George.
Mike Hembry, USA Today. Greg, you sort of pre-answered my question, but what's your anticipation of how the package might work here?
That's really hard to predict. We did get, I know that we've tested a couple different packages here, and I do know that the low downforce package, raced looked like it raced well in practice or whatever. The high drag package may afford some opportunities because the track's so wide that we can get up beside cars and get a draft at the end of the straightaway and get up beside them better than maybe Indy was. Indy's really one lane, so it was difficult to get close to that car in front of you because of the extra spoiler and extension on the bumper cover. It made it more difficult to get closer to that guy to get a run on him. And so here I think that may change with the different lanes. It's just going to have to wait and see. The car is much looser to drive behind another car as well. So that's why you look for clean air. And this type of racetrack being as wide as it is in the corner is one characteristic that it has. So we'll just have to wait and see how it turns out. I'm not, I thought I knew what it was going to look like at Indy and a little bit off, but I'm looking forward to today and see how it drives. And really, we don't ever race around. We don't ever practice around other cars. So typically we go out there and make our own runs, and then we get move into qualifying. And really, the first time we race around cars is when the green flag drops. And so a lot of times we don't know exactly how it's going to react till Sunday versus today, because we go out there by ourselves, going to drive like it normally drives, a little slower maybe down the straightaway or something like that, but you don't get that draft effect or what it does, the car in front of you.
All right, we'll go to George and then Bob.
George Winkler with NASCAR.com. As one of the drivers needing a win, do you think you'll be more aggressive this weekend, and does your success at Michigan kind of put more pressure on you?
Yeah, I think a little of both. Certainly we understand we have 4 races and we have to win one of them to get in the chase, and we've been very fortunate to make the chase 6 out of the last 7 years. So it's we feel the pressure, trust me, and And this is a great racetrack for us. We just have to, get it right today and tomorrow in practice. Our car's got to have the speed to be able to pull off a win. And we felt like we've been close. Charlotte last week, in Pocono, were all opportunities for us, and so this certainly could be a weekend for us.
All right, we'll go to Bob and then Claire.
Bob Hawkers, ESPN. Jack, your computer simulation programs have been kind of in the news a little bit. Can you talk about kind of where they're at and how much do they play a role in analyzing what this package did at Indy and what it could do here?
The Ford's computer simulator is is new online. You say simulator or simulation, Bob?
Your CFD type program.
CFD. The CFD comparisons were interesting. It's imperfect science, CFD is, and we applied what we thought was the important things to this package, which this is the second time we've run this aero package at Indy. And as Greg says, we miscalculated how loose it was going to be in traffic, and maybe had our drag a little higher than it should be for the length of the straightaway. So we're cognizant of the change that's going to occur as we go into a drafting scenario, whether the car's around. So that's going to mean that if you wind up being as loose as you'd like to be to have the speed by yourself, you're probably going to be too loose to race it whenever it comes time. But we at Indy, we did a good thing. We ran our cars out there together, the three cars together, and they learned some things about the drafting early on that raised the red flag, and so they weren't as far off as they might have been. But we've taken some drag out of the cars for here and able to put it back in and get the downforce that goes with it if it looks like we need it. But I think that this is going to be a place much like the Nationwide or the Xfinity cars, where you can run nearly wide open nearly all the way around the racetrack. Once you can get to the point of approaching wide open, then you take the drag off and get the straightaway speed back. But guys have concentrated real hard on the lessons learned at Indy, and they're much better prepared, as most of the teams are. All the teams are, I'm sure, getting ready for here. But you asked about simulation. The other aspect of our simulation past CFD is the Dymola Formula One based system that we've just taken for the first time this year at Ford, and it's coming into its own right, and the guys are getting confidence in it. We don't have one or two aspects of information that it can give perfected yet, but it's certainly online and doing a nice job.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. I talked to you on Jack's Garage, and talking about, you had told me that you feel like one or several of your teams could still get in the chase. You still have like 4 race opportunities. You're a very loyal guy on your team. You're very much in it for the fight. You don't give up easily. You've been through a lot of the sport, the comings and goings of the sport and the cyclical nature, and you just dig your heels in. How do you look at, you said you didn't want to make, you don't make crazy changes. You did make some changes in Xfinity. How do you look at the fight through this and Jack Roush's tenacity and getting someone in the chase, so several of your drivers in the chase, or even into next year?
We've been cup racing here now for 28 years, and have had times when we've had the hot hand and had the combination everybody else wishes they understood or could have, and there's other times when we've lacked that. And we're on a cycle right now that's on its way back up. Greg's had his 2 top 5 finishes, 5th and 2nd so far this year. And those are certainly races that he could have won. And there's been many other races that we've had streaks of brilliance throughout the race for a flat tire or something else that's happened to our disadvantage that's taken us out. But all my programs have got potential. We've, as I indicated, I think on the radio program, we're a promote from within company. We've had 35 or 36 drivers driven our cars over a period of time. 17 of them won races, and not the same 17, but 17 are still involved in the sport in some way. And we've excited about our new rookie field, and of course Greg is a cornerstone of what we've done in trucks and Grand National or Xfinity and Nationwide. He's he's won both championships in both series, and I'm not going to give up, and I don't think he's going to give up till we win the Sprint Cup as well.
All right, we'll go over here to the right.
Hey Greg, Tyler Burnett, MRN. Looking ahead to next week at Bristol, obviously when we were there in April it delayed and we were able to race under the lights. Now we're back under the lights. Do you think that's an advantage? The first time we went there being under the lights and now going back?
You know, I don't know if it makes a lot of difference, but I prefer to race under the lights. The night race is a lot more fun, and the track's a little bit different. You know, the track's cools down at night. So I don't know that the racing there in the spring under the lights is going to make a lot of difference. I just like the second race a lot better.
All right, we'll come up front.
George Poley, the Macomb Daily. Greg, since this is a horsepower track, engines have to be top-notch here. Just comment, if you would, on your comfort level with the motors that you've had this year in that part of your program.
I think the engine part of our program is really, really strong. Doug has, you know, led that engine group very, very well over there. We have the same exact engines as the 2 and the 22 do, so it's, you know, we have a lot of confidence. You know, certainly we see those engines winning races. You know, same thing we have. So we don't have to look under the hood when we're looking for speed. We have to look, you know, throughout the rest of our race car, and you know, find out where that extra speed is. So we feel really good about our engines here. It's certainly nice to see. It's not nice to see our engines winning races without us, but it gives us confidence that we have the right combination to win.
Any additional questions? We'll go to Bob.
Bob Hockers, ESPN. Greg, can you just talk about the adjustment to a new spotter this weekend and any challenges that could entail?
Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, it's not one of the changes I was looking for, you know, but it was, you know, it was time to, you know, head down a different path, I think, for the company. And like I said, it's not preferable to start out with a new spotter, especially Bristol being next week and 4 races before the chase. But it's, you know, it's business, and we'll work through it the best we can to get up to speed with listening to a new guy up top.
Final questions? All right, thanks for joining us, and good luck this weekend.
Thanks.